I hate my fucking neighbors. They get a new puppy every 6 months or so and something always fucking happens. This morning I woke up to their newest puppy in the middle of the road not being able to move because it was hit by a car. I had to move it back into their yard, but I couldn't knock on their door because their older dog was on the porch and I wasn't going to risk getting bit. I fucking hate them. Why have animals if you're not going to properly care for them? Why continue to get more puppies and not get an electric fence or something? Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so upset. My boyfriend and I have 3 dogs of our own, and if they are outside, one of us is outside with them. Even though they are all old enough and understand the property line, it's still not something I'm willing to risk. My neighbors are fucking idiots and I fucking hate them. Update. I'm at work on break and am just now seeing how this has blown up. After I moved the puppy into the yard, I immediately called my boyfriend, who is friends with both of our neighbors, on Facebook. He messaged them, and when he didn't get anything back immediately, he called one of his friends who knows them personally. That guy drove over to their house to wake them up and they took the puppy to the vet. Unfortunately, the puppy had a broken back and had to be put down. I've been advised that since we live in the country I should mind my own business, but the animal lover in me can't do that. I'm going to take all your advice and call animal control/shelters to get them blacklisted. And I'll be watching like a hawk/gathering evidence so I can try to keep it from happening again. I doubt that will keep them from getting more puppies because I'm pretty sure they just get the pups from people giving them away, but I'm going to try. Edit 2. Also, to those getting onto me for not taking it to the vet myself, number 1, I had to go to work, and number 2, I've done that before to a dog that was hit and I was on the hook for the vet bill since I was the one who brought it in. It drained my savings. I don't have a lot of money to begin with, so I knew I couldn't afford to take it to the vet. It fucking sucks, but I learned my lesson the first time. If I could help all the animals in the world I would, but unfortunately you need a lot of money for that and I do not have a lot of money. I faked being sick and that led to my brother killed. It has been over 15 years since this has happened. One night my family was making dinner and we wanted to make corn muffins, but we were out of milk, so my dad, who was recovering from knee surgery at the time and couldn't go, told my sister to go get me and tell me to go to the store and pick up the milk. I was at the top of the stairs when I heard this and I was just feeling lazy. I didn't want to go out that night, so I went into the bathroom and pretended to be sick. So after I convinced my sister that I was sick, my dad had my brother go instead since my mom was busy making dinner and my brother just got his license, so he was eager to get driving. After about 20 minutes I got out of the bathroom and went downstairs and heard what was going on, and I was glad that my plan had worked. I got to stay at home and be nice and lazy waiting for dinner to be ready. But that didn't last long because after about an hour my parents started getting worried that my brother hadn't come back yet, but I told them he probably went out of the way to go to a different store that a girl he had a crush on worked at. But it wasn't that long till we got a knock on our door and the police were telling me and my family that my brother had been killed in a robbery. What happened was he did go out of his way to that store where his crush worked at, and while shopping a guy who was high off of meth ran into the store with a pistol and started demanding money, and when the girl at the cash register was giving him the money my brother's phone rang. One of his friends was calling him, but the robber in his drug-fueled mind had to thought it was something else and turned and shot my brother 3 times. 1 bullet hit his stomach, another hit his liver, and the third grazed his heart. My brother bled out pretty quickly and he died on the floor of a small mom and pop grocery store. The robber and his murderer took the money and ran out. My family would later find out that the police found my brother's killer dead from an overdose a few days later. At least my family had some closure in that regard, but it was hard. Hell, it's still hard without him. I miss him every day and have so much guilt over lying that night. Had I not, I would have gone to the closer store, never would have been close to that robbery, and my brother would still be alive. But no, I just had to be lazy that night and not want to leave the house. He would be in his 30s now, and I named my son after him. I visit him every year on the anniversary, and to this day his tombstone is the only thing I have told the truth to. Well, now everyone who reads this. But I can't tell my family the truth now. I can't let them know that a lifetime worth guilt and sadness could have been avoided if I had decided to not be lazy and go to the store myself. I sexually assaulted someone and the guilt is driving me insane. I was in 7th grade, 12 years old. It was in the middle of the night, and I was sleeping next to my close friend. I couldn't sleep for some reason, but I was feeling horny. I slipped my hand into his shorts and then I started touching his butt inappropriately. I never touched his penis, however, but that doesn't make it any better. And keep in mind, there was no penetration happening at all. At first I did not think of it at first when I did that. I was completely unaware of sexual assault and the life-lasting traumatic effects it has on victims. Fast forward to a year later, my science class had sex ed, and that's when I started learning about consent. Even to this day I still feel truly horrible and disgusted of myself for what I did. I'm a sophomore now. It was so wrong, bad, and violating for me to do that, and I am genuinely sorry for what I did. Even though it was 3 years ago and I did it out of ignorance, I really wish I can go back in time and just control myself. I have forgave myself last year at it, but the guilt was not as bad as right now. I have also been a victim of sexual assault as well when I was around 8. My perpetrator attempted to rape me. I didn't think of anything at that because obviously an 8-year-old can't even consent and is unaware of SA, and I thought it was normal. It was only until I had sex ed that I realized what he did to me. No, I'm not saying that my personal experience with SA excuses what I did. It's just for context. The guilt is driving me insane recently. It's all I can think about despite it being long ago. The guy doesn't even know because he never woke up. I want to take this as a valuable lesson to never do such a horrible thing again. I got lucky that he doesn't know and we are still good. I have completely changed as a person, most definitely. I know I am definitely not a sexual assaulter and definitely not a rapist and never will be. It was just a bad fuck up. If I could go back in time and take it back, I would. I just wish I was educated earlier on, then I would have known that groping is horrible. I would never do such a thing in the near future, but it's taking a toll on my self-esteem and if I'm a good person or not. My 4-year-old said I hate you, and I cried. I didn't cry in front of her. I could have, so she could have understood that she hurt my feelings. But I just said, well, I love you. After she was in bed I broke down. I'm a 100% single mom. She isn't my first, but she is my last, and I just wasn't prepared yet to hear her say those words yet. It hasn't been easy thus far. I don't have any personal relationships because I just wanted to make sure I give my kids 100% of mom, and I'm stuck turning to Reddit to whine to because I don't have a boyfriend to do that with. Lol. And even after giving them 100% they still hate me. Lol. It's been a shitty night, but hey, it's been 173 days since I've had a beer, and my 4-year-old saying she hates me isn't enough to make me fuck that up. It's enough to make me cry though, totally enough to make me cry.